It's been a lot of ups and downs as you've seen through our inception.
Absolutely. So, you guys are, and I'll just say this. I mean, where is Thorfi right now? I mean, you guys are here, right? You're building, you're innovating, you haven't ran away. I mean, look at I know you guys are moving to NFTs and, things like that with the utility. I don't know of any other DeFi project that's still here besides the two that are up here on stage right now that are still building. So kudos and congratulations. So obviously, when you look at something like that and you look at the innovation of the OTC, it's sort of a no-brainer.
Oh, well, thank you very much, man. I mean, we've been talking for a pretty extended period of time. I mean, you and I, Showtime, we've known each other, basically since the very beginning of Thor. So I'd say like December of 2021. And so, it's an absolute pleasure to finally be able to work with you. There's definitely other things within both of our ecosystems that we're looking at potential further integrations on. But just wanted to say big shout out to the XETA crew. Big shout out to what you guys are building. You guys are building some very interesting stuff in this space. And we're really, really happy to be able to work with you because once again, and this is what I've said, really from the beginning of me being the community manager over here at Thorfi, we're all about working with high quality ethical projects and projects that are out there to build and not just, be one of the myriad of malicious actors within this space. So I want to say big shout out to you guys for having the same kind of resiliency, the same kind of outlook on this industry that we do. And we're looking forward to being able to grow together in an evolving industry, especially as the cycles change.
Well, thank you, Loki. I remember you and I spoke pretty much in depth about the crypto and DeFi space even before you started Thor. I remember, from hearing your heart about how you really wanted to try to fix the space and change the direction it was going, because even before you guys came, the direction of not just crypto, but DeFi specifically is just, it comes with its pros and cons, as you well know, right? You got a lot of kind of like self-governance, people who are trying to build projects. They may even have the right intention in mind, but it doesn't always play out that way. And I know you saw that early on. I saw it early on. Some people that I thought would change the space didn't. They made it worse. And other people that I knew would be around here trying to fix the space like yourself have remained persistent. And I mean, my gosh, a year, even I just think about that because we've been around for about 5 months and it feels like 5 years already. I think I may have lost you, Loki, or did you lose me?
Hey there, Showtime. Can you hear me? Because I think I'm a community can hear me. I can see my my name out here active.
I can hear you now. Yeah, you went sound.
Okay, there we go. I mean, like what I was saying is it's very interesting to me. That if you've been in this industry for a year, you're essentially considered an OG. It's amazing how fast this industry changes, especially because it takes a long time in order to build out significant utility and significant value within a cohesive ecosystem. This is not something that takes weeks or even months to build out. It takes potentially years. We see this all the time in the startup world. And so, the fact that we have so few projects that seem to reach these milestones, to me really is an indication on not just the ideas that people are bringing into the market, but the people's resiliency and people's, willingness and ability to stay there when things get tough and when things get rough. And that's something that I think is definitely in a stark minority in this industry. And I think it's something that, not only, of course, we're going to brag about Thorfi having that, obviously, but it's something I think without a question you do as well, with the projects that you've worked with for the last year. Not every single project that you worked with was successful. Not every single project worked out. However, the one thing about you, Showtime, and the one thing that I really, really respect is that you're a resilient guy, man. You have found new ideas. You have brought in new innovations, and I think you guys have hit, the ball out of the park with xetacapital. I think you guys have done fantastically well, and honestly, I'm looking forward to our 2-year anniversary, and maybe we can come up for another AMA at that time as well for a nice little victory lap.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it, Loki. It goes both ways. When I came and just saw sort of the decimation, I'll use that word, of the space, I thought, there's got to be someone who can bring utility to this space. There's got to be someone who can bring and I know you guys are doing this as well, so that, you're not included in this, but there's got to be some ability to bridge a real world life-changing use case to the DeFi space. Yeah. And so because, besides you guys, I know you're still working on it, I didn't see that. I decided, with what I'm able to do and the connections and things like that, I may as well do it, right? So that's why in Zeta, we've built the ability to bridge over to traditional finance with high frequency trading platforms and soon private equity and just different things that give people something to use their emissions for. Because as you well know, and I know you guys noticed, you're doing the NFT model and different things like that. Giving people something to do with their emissions is key. And that's the reason why we've done almost $5 million to buybacks up to date, because of the ability to make money and use that money to support the community.
Absolutely. And look, as another protocol that's and buybacks as well, we both know what that's like. But yeah, man, look, I think it's really interesting, and to me, this is something that I've always said. DeFi is not going to evolve with a single protocol that's doing the right things, or with a single team that's doing the right thing. It really does take a village to raise someone here, and so that's the reason I'm really, really happy that there's projects like Zeta, and there's projects, some other projects within the space that have not just good ideas and high real world application of their ideas, but genuinely serve it real value and have teams that have the resiliency to get through the time in order to allow those values to be reflected in token prices.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing, man. Like, I'm kind of up to date on what you guys are doing, not as in depth as obviously your team and the community is, but I know what you guys are doing. And as I'm sitting here listening to the questions, I only have scratched the surface of what you guys are doing. So just as I'm listening to everything that you're answering, I understand being behind the scenes, everything you're building and the amount of stress. I can almost feel it just as you're answering the question, just because I'm thinking, oh, you're doing that. So here's the thing, man. It's when you're wanting to serve the community, this stuff takes time to build it and build it right. And also try to hit deadlines. And believe me, I'm maybe even coming infamous for, announcing deadlines and not hitting them, but it doesn't mean it's doing it the right way, right? And that, that goes hand in hand with being able to get things out for your community that is innovative. And as you pointed that out in the space, we're missing that. So innovation takes time, and it takes the ability to do it the right way. So just hearing everything you're doing, man, like I'm being behind the scenes, I know what it's like to build stuff, try to get it out on time and make it right. And then sometimes you're still not perfect because, nobody is. But, being able to do that is, I think it's a testament to you're here for the community. We're here for the community. Everybody could have ran away up to now. So there's a reason we're still here.
And you know what? I think you and I both know it would be a lot easier than doing things the right way. But I think once again, that separates the men from the boys in this industry. And that really separates the people who have, truly, long-term goals and ambitions here versus the guys that are just here for a quick payday. So yeah, man, is there anything else that you want to cover out here? Is there anything specifically that you want to tell our community about for you guys over at Zeta? I know I'm going to come over and do an AMA with Zeta, and I'm yes. Absolutely a pleasure to do that. I'm going to ensure that, obviously we're going to be tweeting out some information. We're going to be tweeting out some graphics, some images along those lines as well. We want to make sure that we can, get as many eyeballs on Zeta as humanly possible here. And, if there's anything that you'd want to cover out here, anything that you want to introduce to our community, anything that you'd like to say to our community, I'll leave the stage here to you before we get into our live section.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll just give a quick elevator pitch of what is Zeta. I mean, you're hearing this name, you're seeing me, but what is it? Just like break it down, 1,000-foot view. Well, we are a project where you can build zones. Okay, zones cost 10 tokens. You earn 0.1 a day. We've all heard this story. But typically, there's nothing else to do with your emissions. Those are your rewards that you earn per day, other than sell. We've seen this in other projects. It just ends up being one utility, and that's selling. So we've partnered with a private wealth management firm that allows you to use your tokens to go into traditional finance products that typically you would need a high net worth, ultra high net worth to get into. We're talking $10 million or more, like a high frequency trading platform that, not guaranteed, but potentially earns between 10, 20, 30% or more per month. These are things that traditional finance institutions use already. Outside of crypto, believe it or not, the gains that some financial institutions earn are far greater than the DeFi projects. But a lot of people do not know that these things even exist. So what we've done is we've allowed you to use your tokens to deposit into those services without ever having to sell. So that gives us real utility. That gives people something to do with their tokens. And of course, the OTC, for people who do want to sell, will allow people to do that in an efficient manner, which, by the way, if any project is listening, I've tested the OTC. It works beautifully. And if you're looking for it, it's a wonderful choice.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming up here today, Showtime. Absolutely a pleasure to talk to you as always, my friend. Looking forward to my AMA on XETA. I'll ensure that we update the Thor community on when that's happening as well, so we can hopefully bring on a lot of people from the Thorfi side over into XETA to learn some more about you guys. And yeah, man, absolutely pleasure working with you, man. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing other ways that our different projects and our different communities can be intertwined into the future.
Well, thanks so much, brother. And just as a reminder, the OTC is planning to go live tomorrow. It'll probably be later tomorrow. It could bleed into Saturday, but tomorrow later is the goal. And then once we are live, we will schedule an AMA and have the on, Loki.
Sweet, 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 man. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be happy to sing it down from the rooftops, my friend. Thank you very much, brother.